Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Matt and John Make a Podcast live stream. We're on a new day on Thursday evenings here at 7. Try to change it up so we both have a chance to watch both shows instead of one watching one more so or one just not watching the other and just watching one. So we have a more comprehensive view on both shows, and we both can give more of our opinions, and instead of one person talking about one and the other kind of just being there looking pretty on stream. So this week a lot of stuff happened, I guess, on both shows. In my opinion, I think both shows were good in their own respective ways. What did you think on both? We could actually talk about both.
Okay, well, for Dynamite, it was a solid show, not a great show. I felt, and NXT that was solid, but I have a feeling that we probably are going to completely disagree on the whole ending of the NXT, but we'll save that for later. But
yeah,
I tell you, I was pretty surprised on like both shows how well that they both did as far as the ratings are concerned, though.
I'm surprised how well AEW did in the ratings, getting
over 900,000 viewers.
I'm surprised because watching the show, I mean, nothing just compared to what other shows have on in the past.
Well, and too, Matt, I'm not sure if you saw this, but AEW beat I think they beat Raw in 12 to 34 this week too, which that's something
I didn't see that demo.
Yeah, according to the Observer, they 12 to 34 beat Raw this week, which that's something to be really I mean like definitely a little bit of a shocker, but I think probably that demo probably really helped out with the overall rating, because I believe from the 18 to 49 that they did 8.36, which I think is I believe that is up from which I believe that they did 8.31 or something last week.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, and even NXT too. Like they only did 707,000 viewers last week, and for this week they did 753,000. So
I thought they were higher. I thought they were a little bit higher than that, but it doesn't matter.
No, I'm pretty sure that they were.
I thought it was 7. I thought it was maybe I'm thinking of last week that AEW like 770 or something, but
yeah, AEW last week they did 770.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
What show do you want to get into first?
Let's get into NXT here first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we open up the show. The opener, we have number one contenders match: Rhea Ripley versus Dakota Kai to face Io Shirai at Takeover 30. I thought this was a fantastic match between the two. I had a feeling Dakota Kai was going to win because they were just building throughout the weeks. She was hinting at Io Shirai and she wanted it, building that. So I'm not surprised she won. I thought it was good. But how she won is Mercedes Martinez kicks her with a big boot on the apron, where the ref was distracted. I believe, and Kai takes advantage with the which he calls the GTK and gets the win, and then Mercedes attacks Rhea Ripley after the match. So there's a program with those two down the road.
I mean, I pretty much saw this coming. There has been some pretty consistent build with EO and Dakota Kai. So and man, I continue to say this every single time that I see Rhea. She is just stale, man. Like there's just like it's a far cry from how she was back in October and so on.
Heck,
like she
Mania season.
Yeah, it's just like it's man, like it is like you just have. I mean, for me, it's so evident she's doing just the same things every single time, and I'm like, she needs something, because man, it's been a pretty rough go around for her.
What sucks for her, she pretty much got lost in the losing. That's why I was upset when she lost to Charlotte, because I was afraid this was going to happen. But the thing is, and if I could put a silver lining on this somehow, maybe not so much for Rhea, but she kind of is lost in the shuffle in a bit, and that kind of attests to the depth of the women's division. That it's not like maybe you see on the main roster, maybe somebody loses, but they're pretty much
multiple feuds. There's multiple feuds. Yeah.
There's multiple stars enough that if you take a Rhea out, you have your EOs, you have your Dakota Kais, you're now Mercedes building, your Candice LeRae's, your Tegan Knox's. You have multiple things going on that it's not bad that she's not there when like the main roster, when you're limited, let's say the tag team division, you kind of see the same stuff. If people are still losing, they're still have to be there out of necessity. But with NXT's division, there is total depth, and we say this every week. So you have multiple stuff going on that it doesn't kind of hurt you as much. But besides that, I would like I'm intrigued with a Mercedes and Rhea match. Given right, I think they can, beat the living tar out of each other because they're both badasses.
Mm-hmm.
Just look at them. Mercedes just looks like like she can rip your head off.
Yeah.
Same thing with Rhea. So I'm interested to see how that is. If, I think it's be built right, a good feud for her, because at the same time, you want to build somebody else up. You want to build other people up, and Dakota has that potential. She's put in the work. They've built around her and built everybody else up. So, Rhea doesn't need to be in the title picture per se, because we saw her in EO, and if it's okay if she has another feud, in my opinion, because that just adds a depth. There's another storyline that's not for the title, right? Which was the problem for main roster for a bit there, that it was just a title,
and like honestly, that's kind of still the issue, because if you look
more
everywhere,
so,
Bailey
SmackDown does it better.
Bailey and like Sasha are just their base. That's basically it with a winner right now.
Yeah, that's mostly on Raw. SmackDown is doing a little bit better. SmackDown is tenfold better than Raw. Just watchability. Like I compared the two, just from like SmackDown from last week to Raw this week. The show SmackDown is easier to watch, and on the women's, depending if you might not care about it or whatever, but they have Lacey Evans, Naomi, they have a feud, and that's not for a title. So there's somewhat of depth there, that it's not just, oh, I'm Lacey Evans, I want to face Bailey, and that's it. So they're
which man, that happens so often, and like it's so lazy, and that is the one thing that I wish on there was just some more creativity with it.
So I give SmackDown credit, and watching the Wrestle Reaction post show on SmackDown, I think Justin LeBar said it. He can't believe that both Raw and SmackDown are being created and run by pretty much the exact same people, and it's night and day difference.
I mean, like, you gotta wonder if there is some more of NXT influence on that show, just because it just seems like it's more NXT light,
Yeah, and I think an obvious, the elephant in the room is that extra hour. You don't have that extra hour of trying to write stuff, and I mean, it's not easy.
And
it's not.
And also, Matt, I also wonder if that's why. Well, obviously on like Fox, there is like a more homes to be reached now. But I wonder because of the 2 hours, and I'm wondering if some of those fans on both of those shows are starting to kind of migrate over to both NXT and like Dynamite. It's just
maybe
something.
And then plus, and not to get too much on the SmackDown off the train here, but just SmackDown just flows like last week. It kind of just flows, like watching it on. I think I watched it on DVR, and it's like before you know, it's like, oh, we're in the last segment. Holy crap, a lot has happened, and I don't feel like I'm dragging my ass watching this. So that's a different tangent for a different day. So we have, like I said, Dakota Kai wins. There's a back. We have footage of McAfee talking to Shawn Michaels, and we're teasing. We'll hear more from him later. Then we get Bronson Reed versus Shane Thorne. I'm high on Bronson Reed. I think for a big man, he does a lot of good stuff. And Shane Thorne,
he definitely stands out from everyone else.
He just,
from what I saw.
He's an athletic big man. He's like I want to say Keith Lee, but like that big man that does stuff that shouldn't do.
A poor man's Keith Lee, I would say.
Yeah. And Shane Thorne, even though he was in this match to do the job to make Bronson Reed look good, some of the stuff he did I thought was really impressive. That
he can really bump. He can really bump. That's definitely the one thing that kind of really jumped out at me.
There was the one move. I think Bronson was like on the top, and he was kind of hunched over, and Shane did like this rolling cannonball or whatever, like in midair. That was impressive with me.
Well, kind of
Kevin Owens thing,
or like a Van Dam's rolling thunder there.
Yeah, but without the rolling.
Okay.
But it was like it was like ran in like a front flip, like cannonball, something like that. That was really impressive. He did good. I can see Shane Thorne down the line being something. Like I was impressed with him. But again, this was a good showing for Bronson Reed, just to showcase him, and they have a lot of backing with him going in this. So for what it was, I thought this was good. I mean, it did the job. Got another solid win for Bronson Reed. I mean, it served its purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Anything else?
Agree.
Yeah. So I mean, good match. Then there's footage of Brizongo coming into the performance center or Full Sail, whatever the hell. And then gets attacked by Legado del Fantasma. And they put Fandango in the back of the SUV and they drive off. And we see him later in the night. Mackenzie Mitchell, the interviewer, approached Robert Stone, asked why they interfered in the Rhea Ripley Dakota Kai. Stone says Rhea might be done with the Robert Stone brand, but they're not done with her, and they walk off. Obviously, we're going to get the Mercedes and Rhea match. Then we get the triple threat qualifier match. Damian Priest versus Rich Holland versus Orny Lorcan.
Yeah,
Damian Priest picking up the win.
I felt like that this was the really only option here. I mean,
Yeah.
like Oni has been typically a tag team guy. I'm cruiserweight guy here. So and I call it. He's still relatively new, and I think it's about time that we start to give him Damian Priest some more shine here. You know.
Yeah, and I'm glad they protected Rich Holland.
Yeah.
You know, obviously he didn't take the pin. Orny Lorcan was in there. I mean, I thought this was a solid match. Great match. Maybe not the biggest star power out of the last two. But solid workers. Orny, I think I hate that name.
Oni.
He's a solid worker. Like, there's no doubt about that. He was kind of the fall guy. Damian Priest won. Right call. Even though I think last week I said maybe Rich Holland, but that was just because he debuted. But I kind of like him. He looked.
It's kind of way too early for me to really.
I mean, from what I saw, I wasn't like turned off by him.
No, it's just
I just really more. Really. He looks like he looks like Pat McAfee on steroids. I don't know, for some reason I saw that, and anyways, then eventually they talk about how Adam Cole, Pat McAfee put the differences aside, and they have the pictures and all that, blah 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 blah, teasing, you know, later down the road. Then we get Keith Lee versus Cameron Grimes. Keith Lee getting the win, and the one thing I took away, what I liked, is just Keith Lee just looked pissed the whole match. Like, he was just like, "You son of a bitch, I'm just gonna kick your ass." And
he's on a mission. Yeah,
he's on a mission. Yeah, he's like,
to kind of just prove himself.
It's not the happy-go-lucky Keith Lee. It's like, okay, Karen Cross, you crossed the line.
Ass kicker. Kicker.
I mean, Grimes got some decent amount of offense in, which, I mean, he's not. He's got wins. I think he got a win over Finn Balor, so he's not like a nobody. But obviously Keith Lee gets the win. That no shocker there. Looked decent. Then after the match, Karen Cross went on the big screen. Says we're doing it the hard way, and then shows that he walks away from the camera and he shows just a bunch of people laid out in the back, and I guess one of them he was holding somebody, which I believe was because they announced the match for next week. I gotta find it. His name is freaking escaping me. Danny Burch. There you go. Because it was announced next week. It's Karrion Kross versus Danny Burch. Yeah. So I guess that it was a real quick look at Danny Burch. He was holding him and he tossed him down. Yeah. So they're making Karrion Kross a damn badass. I mean, great build so far.
So I feel like, since we're on the topic of Karrion Kross, we should probably talk about this. So there was some report that came out. It was a few hours ago.
Hugo Savanovic or whatever his name is.
Yeah, who claims that Karrion Kross was a former mercenary for the freaking mafia, which pretty much he killed a few people, according to Hugo, which it's not something I expected to read. But now, Matt, it makes all sense of why he was known as Killer Kross on the Independence.
Yes, that would be interesting if this is true.
It would probably explain a few things. However, that really did pull me away. But
I can see it, but
I can too, which is kind of crazy.
He has the look, but
yeah,
I don't know how much I believe it.
Hey man, anything on the internet is automatically true. You should know.
Yeah, I could. That. Yeah, and we'll get on another topic of murder. Oh my god! I was listening to the wrestling people do.
I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait too.
It is the weird. This is a weird day of murders, of accusations. Anyways,
yes,
we'll get into that. So we have a message from William Regal that apparently Dexter Lumis, I guess, is maybe legit hurt due to an ankle injury. I don't know, but they pulled him from the ladder match. So Johnny Gargano, Finn Balor, and the other 4 superstars that did not get pinned, or in a second chance thing.
Yeah.
Wait. I'm sorry. I take that. Okay, let me read that. Superstars weren't pinned in early qualifiers would compete in singles matches with those winners, 2 winners. So maybe it's depending on who they face, it's Gargano versus somebody else, Finn Balor versus somebody else, and you put those 2 in.
To me, a lot of this just didn't make any sense because I'm like, okay, if you were just going to do this, then why not just do singles matches instead of doing triple threats here?
Unless that injury is legit. Because it seems too convoluted.
It feels so ass backwards here.
I'm going to assume, there's too much. If this goes to here and then he wins, and it's like that. It's like that meme from every Sunny and Phil, whatever the meme when he's looking and he has that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
So I'm going to assume it's legit because I don't think they would do that and pull Dexter Lumis for a storyline purpose.
But it's like if
he shows up at TakeOver, then in some form or fashion,
it's
it's a cluster. But if he's actually hurt, then I'll give you a pass because you didn't plan for this.
But I swear, if we see him in any sort of physical capacity,
at TakeOver and upcoming
TakeOver, I'm cutting a freaking heel promo.
I am calling BS. But if he's legit hurt and this is what you have to do because you didn't, then okay, it is what it is because you had a plan and it got screwed up. But
had to do something.
So. You had to do something. So if that's it, then I'm okay with it because maybe we get a Gargano and a Finn Balor in the match, and which might work out for the best. When you have those 2 with the upstarts, with the upstarts in a Damian Priest to work
Damian
off
Priest.
each other, and it gives that match more credibility, I guess. So that's fine, but we'll see what happens.
Legitimacy,
yeah. So we got Legado del Fantasma comes out. They carrying a pretty much lifeless Fandango out from the back. They cut a promo, pretty much saying how Breezango is making a mockery of Lucha Libre. They talk about that, and they call out Escobar calls out Isaiah Swerve Scott. I like the promo. I like this faction because they're being
Phantasma has a lot of presence. That's definitely the one thing. Like he has a clear step over say a like a Andrade, who just like who can't speak any English.
That's why they have, and Selena's there, and she does a great job. But like, they're building this faction up, even though they're not really, they don't wrestle much, but they're coming off like legit badasses. Like they're serious, and it's not like other critiques that other people have said, like on Raw with like,
and like honestly, Matt, like when was really probably the last time that we had a really serious faction like this that were Latino. I mean, like
that Latino, and not in general. Latino.
In general,
I know. In general, maybe until Cena beat Wade Barrett, maybe Nexus,
Mex America,
Mexico. Mexicals.
That was the most stereotypical.
The thing is, at least back then, you didn't see anybody complain. If you did that now,
my God,
sweet baby Jesus,
Twitter would be a freaking out.
My God, but like, again, they're doing a good job building them up, and what I was saying before, the criticism that other people I've listened to say that like factions like the Hurt Business on MVP's group on Raw and Selena Vega's group, they've won and they've lost, and they have not been established.
Gee, it's not like that I've heard that before when it comes to either Raw or SmackDown. Cough.
I don't believe that cough. So this is good. We'll see what happens with them, and I'm high on other. People might not like them, but I think they're fantastic. Fantastic. I was saying Phantasma and Fantastic combined them.
Phantasma.
Phantasmica. Yeah. We have Damian Priest interview outside. I thought this was way better than his interview last week, which I sound like he didn't care last week. But then again, I was in and out of AEW. And then he runs into Bronson Reed going into his car, and they have this confrontation, and they have a match next week, which I'm intrigued to see what happens there. I don't know if it's going to be. I don't think it's going to end clean. Because it's going to be funny business.
Well, mainly you. I mean, if this was either Raw or SmackDown, oh yes, absolutely one of these two guys, they would be pinned completely clean. But no. I'm expecting some sort of
DQ, like a DQ or something non-finished, which is fine because even if they have a good match, because both of them shouldn't lose going in this match.
No.
So it's fine. It works for what it is. Then we get Tegan Nox versus Indy Hartwell, with Pat McAfee on commentary starting off there. Decent match. just another match to get Tegan Knox, to build Tegan Knox's credibility and get a win under her belt. Yeah, I mean, nothing special, decent match.
Yeah.
It did its job. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was a match. Well, that makes it sound like it was terrible, but it did.
It wasn't. It was just there. It was just there. Yeah.
It was to build Tegan Knox more and get her victory.
Yeah. It's the main event, isn't it?
Yes. NXT Tag Team Title match. The Undisputed Era versus the champions Imperium. The big topic or big focus on the match was obviously Adam Cole and Pat McAfee. Adam Cole was on the outside, closest to the announce table with Pat and Tom Phillips, and Pat. They slowly, I know, I in a way I appreciated it, in a weird way, that they slowly, like Pat, they slowly brought Pat, like he started okay, and then he slowly turned, like slowly got the jabs in.
That being said, I still hate this.
Some stuff that didn't make sense to me. Okay, I like it overall, in a way, but there's some stuff that didn't make sense to me. Was I maybe I have to go back and listen, but like Beth Phoenix got mad and stopped talking. But I don't remember Pat saying anything that was really that bad that Beth would have to get off a commentary. To me, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like I
don't remember anything.
Recall that either.
They're like, oh, okay, I can see Beth getting pissed off. Okay, that it makes sense in hindsight. And another thing was like how I don't believe in a second that Adam Cole can hear Pat talk.
He was so far away. I'm like,
I'm 20. They're like, I'm 20 feet away. I can hear you, but I'm like, unless the illusion of the fake crowd noise was louder than when it actually was in there,
which I find extremely hard to believe.
I believe that the fake crowd noise they pipe in is louder than it actually was in there. If they didn't have that, maybe, but you have everybody and in these builder wrestlers in there, all they know is to do
right
on the plexiglass, and after a while
it gets annoying as hell. But I'm trying to think to myself. So Adam Cole is the longest reigning NXT World Champion. He goes from that to now he's feuding with a punter. And I'm not taking anything away from the guy. He is a very successful podcaster, but I just don't see how this is going to benefit Cole whatsoever. This feels like a giant waste of time that I don't think really that a lot of people want to actually see. It's just like I'm trying to like figure out what are the actual benefits from this. And yes, these two have been been throwing jabs for God knows how long, but I hate this.
See, I'm can I play devil's advocate here?
Go ahead.
I can see. I'm trying to take the point from Adam's core perspective. I'm going to try to get in his mindset here and take off what you said. Maybe it's me trying to force to justify it. But like if Adam Cole, like you said, longest reigning champion, 400 some days, beating everybody, and then you have this.
He's beating everybody from Finn and Keith Lee and
Then you have this.
It's
no, like in compared to the wrestling business, nobody just say, and maybe they're playing off. Maybe everybody's been saying this. Maybe not just Pat or kayfabe Pat.
He's too short. He's too short. He's too small. Yeah.
Well, he is accomplished. He is the longest reigning champion, and maybe I guess the storyline and from his perspective, it's like, what do I have to do? You have these people here like Pat saying I'm too short. Meanwhile, I'm kicking everybody's ass. So that's me justifying like storyline wise, and in a way it makes sense to me. But then I'm taking the business. I'm taking the business.
Yeah, and
business
creatively,
aspect, on the business aspect, and people have said, and other people have said, like probably like a little bar or something, that Pat does have a huge following, and if you get the social media presence, because I know WWE on Fox
podcasting too,
tweeted out that I guess the match is official at Takeover, and then like NFL on Fox's Twitter account,
and also too, he was on ESPN this morning where they took out a whole segment on them.
So business wise, like everybody knows Pat McAfee, and he's a crazy like son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So business wise, to get more eyes on the takeover in the build, I think is smart. I think a business decision, if it works, is a smart business decision because it's Pat McAfee. If you have anybody else, depending who it is,
I just wish if they were going to say, hey, like, you know, I mean, if you want to, if you want,
I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, if you wanted to actually have him on the show, then like have it against someone who's not essentially NXT's top guy.
And I think this is where you get a double-edged sword, because with the top guy, I guess it makes more credibility that it's Adam Cole is higher profile than if it's like I don't know, no offense,
Shane Thorne,
or even a Gargano in some ways, because Adam Cole, I don't know, Cole has that maybe not as big but more brand recognition than I guess Shane Thorne or what have you.
Well, and
or it was a Keith Lee or something.
And on top of Cole, he has more of a set core of fan base on top of it. So that's probably
depending on how this match works. I can trust Adam Cole to make it work.
It'll be good. I just have no desire, nor do I give a single shit to see this match. It's just for the audience that they are currently targeting.
I want to
honestly
see the quarters.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting
tomorrow. I think.
That's
gonna be the telling. That's gonna be the telling thing to show if that last half hour pulls.
Well, because too on the opposite side was like a Moxley versus Darby Allin for their titles. So.
Yes, with the only if you want to twist that to a positive for NXT is that how many people actually think that Darby was actually going to win that, right?
If there was a single soul, I'm like people are dumb as hell. Oh,
so that goes.
By the way, before we go any further on that topic, like, did you at any point think that this was anything but a freaking work? Like, I thought it was 100% work here.
When I didn't even listen to the clip. I just knew, like, I saw it without the audio. I just know it was a work because why? It's because it's Adam Cole. I don't like, he's like the chillest person. We've heard stories of seen stuff. It's Pat McAfee.
A good friend of ours too has said like he's the most chillest, most down to earth human being you will ever meet. So that was the very first red flag there,
right? And like it was, to me, it was obviously it was a work. Like, you would have the aftermath would have been different if it wasn't, but like anything with wrestling, anything with wrestlers, any that I go work, and then you have to give me facts to say it was legit. It's like innocent before guilty. It's a work before shoot.
Yeah, and like
convince me anything.
And like just like how you heard how Adam Cole is, and on top of that, man, if you see him on any sort of like gaming stream, he is the most like calm, cool, and collected dude
he's ever seen. Yeah, I've seen him streamed with. There's a streamer
Xavier Woods.
To. Not it's him, but there's a different person. He's a wrestling fan. He's a popular streamer on YouTube and mostly Twitch, and they were playing Fortnite with each other. Like Adam Cole was like friends with this guy now, and they were playing Fortnite like last year or whatever. So like he's a pretty cool dude. Like I would love. It's like one of those people when you see him, would love just to sit and just talk and just BS with, because he would just probably be the coolest guy to be around. So it doesn't make sense. But again, anything that has anything to do with the wrestlers on TV or anything, any story, I don't believe it. I'm just assuming it's a work, and people to take it. So yeah. So we got that. So that was NXT. Let's head over to TNT and to AEW Dynamite. So they start out with half the roster in the 12-man tag match with the Elite, Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, and the Young Bucks and FTR versus the Dark Order. I was on this. I don't know. I'm like soured on like multiple
I'm like
it was. I mean, there was parts of it that were good. Don't get me wrong, but I wasn't really like gung ho about it, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just I hate 5-on-5 or like 6-on-6 matches unless it's something like special or like that kind of like needs to actually happen. I mean, I will say this was definitely better than the 5-on-5, but this like it was okay. But I will say we did get some more build with Hangman, Kenny, and FTR. They're continuing building up on that storyline, and by the end result here, I kind of have a feeling now. I mean, like I'm not exactly sure what they're going with the tag titles now, because now with like Brody Lee getting a pin over Hangman, do we have Hangman and Kenny versus Dark Order now? I don't exactly know where things are going here. What do you think is happening here?
I don't, because isn't FTR number one contenders? So that's been established. Because if they're not, they're clear.
Yeah,
see, like, I don't know.
They're definitely in the top 5 now.
They have to be, because who else is there?
The only other tag team I could think of would be probably Brody Lee and Colt Cabana.
They did get the win in this match.
Yeah, and if I'm correct, since they have been tagging together, they have not even have been pinned yet. And by
FTR or Dark Order.
I'm looking. Number one is in fact FTR. They are currently ranked first. The second is like the best friends. Third is Evil Uno and Stu Grayson of the Dark Order. Four are Matt and like Nick Jackson. And five is the Jurassic Express. So I mean logic here. You got to think, okay, FTR have to be getting a title shot here soon because for some reason, somehow Jurassic Express is getting a tag title shot next week.
Or is it just a match? I don't remember him saying. No, is it for the title?
Yeah, it's for tag titles. That was.
I thought it was announced. No. I thought it was just a match. Let's see that because which I was okay with. But if it's for the titles, which
I'm pretty sure it's for.
I thought it was just a match.
Let me check on Tony.
I could have missed it.
Twitter page, but I'm pretty sure that it's for the tag titles. But which I'm like, is this really necessary? What has Jurassic Express? What have they?
I just feel like this is.
Yep. Or actually, yep. It's for it. It's for the tag.
What the hell? See, that makes no sense. I feel like they're just doing that. To me, like now it makes rankings. This is not the rankings mean nothing if number 5 is getting a shot before FTR and they're number 1.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, Jungle Boy and Electrostars, they have been on a pretty good run here, but it does not make any damn sense for them to win here. But for the match itself, it was definitely better from the previous week. But yes. I'm good with just like no more 6-on-6, 5-on-5 tags for
half the roster versus half the roster.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, what do you think of FTR and their build so far?
I think they're just kind of trying to like take it really slow right now and just setting things up. I think until we actually get to where things are actually supposed to actually be at with FTR and Kenny and also Hangman, they're going to be kind of in this like limbo stage here. So it's
to me like, it's
like you're waiting for something to finally happen.
It's like they're there. They came in and hype, and now I don't know. It's not as special to me right now because they're still teaming with the young. I don't know.
That's going to change relatively soon. So
right now, I'm not the highest on what they've been doing.
Now a team at B before we get into this tag match, did you want to talk about the Moxley promo there? What'd you think of that?
I thought this was one of his better ones.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Saying I think it was one of the lines near the end was saying that for him to stay down, if you time to stay down, just stay down. And he says, quote, "I know you're not going to listen though, because I wouldn't." I don't know. I mean, I liked it. I had no problem with it.
Would you also agree with me on this as well? Just from a promo standpoint, AEW is clearly one of the best companies as far as guys who can actually talk. Because I feel like that is something that has for
they let them talk.
Yeah, it's just.
I think I would be an idiot to say no.
Yeah, I mean, like I was just thinking
objectively, yes.
Jericho, Taz, like Moxley,
MJF are off the top of my head.
Yeah,
like
it just
use those two examples, and everything else you say is mute.
How like even guys such as like Hangman, Ricky Starks has done really well as well. It's just I really like that aspect of their show, but I definitely agree as well, man. A very good promo that eventually sets up for their title match later.
And then then we get Best Friends versus Santana and Ortiz, with Best Friends picking up the pinfall, the roll up.
I just want one question answered. What the hell are we doing with LAX? I
don't care about both these teams. I'm sorry.
Yes, and that was me too. I was like, I'm so over Best Friends. To me, without Orange Cassidy, they have no intrigue whatsoever.
And I can admit this: Orange Cassidy is the only one that makes that team any relevance.
He's the only person who really truly matters, and there is a freaking reason why he's being elevated over those guys. He has that something. Yeah.
The gimmick, and we're going to get into it after, and I'll save that criticism for then. But LAX, Santana, Ortiz, when they first went with Jericho, it was good. Now, they've fallen so far off for me.
Oh, yeah.
Like Ortiz, was it the one that does all the over exaggeration crap?
Yeah.
Ortiz.
Yeah.
To me, it gets a little bit too much, especially
it's way too cartoony. It's way too cartoony.
Overselling, and it's not even the fun overselling.
No,
especially with the orange juice. What last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever that was, everybody else is standing there and he's flopping around like a fish out of the water. It Ortiz is the one that I can't stand. Santana has the look.
He has everything. He has such presence. First of all, he can really talk. And yeah, to me, he's definitely a guy who I could see at some point.
Go ahead.
At some point going off into singles, which I would not mind seeing.
I think that eye for the eye thing, with Moxley,
that was really good. That was really.
He had that backstage promo on the steps.
Yeah, I'm talking about his dad and everything. Yeah,
that was good. And then nothing. Well, he had that match, the eye for the eye. AEW did first, folks.
Eye for an eye.
Eye for an eye. WWE's like, AEW did it. We're gonna do it better. Damn it.
He's gonna take his eyeball and take it and scratch it out.
You're gonna hold it. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be gross. An eye for an eye. Anywho. Squishy, damn it. Squishy. Anyways. So about these tag teams, this to me, when I was watching it late last night before I stopped to go to bed because it was late and early morning. I was like, at least these first two matches, I was just like,
They were dragging.
It was like, So it was like at least the majority of the first half for Dynamite was. It wasn't the best. Their second hour was by far better.
Absolutely.
So that happened. Then we got MJF and his campaign headquarters.
This guy is such a fucking prick.
Love it. Love it.
He is such a prick. He's like yelling at his assistants. He fires the freaking guy who gives him some like
bad gum.
Who gives him some bad gum. like I don't,
He goes on the guy for hanging a poster crooked.
Yeah.
Is
this straight? Is this straight to you?
Yeah, and then the camera guy asks him, "What happens if Alan Darby wins the entire match?" He goes, "Oh, the 125-pound emo kid." Yeah, sorry.
I'm just like, oh my god,
That's
like,
that's the thing.
Just like we need skits every single week. We freaking need them.
It's great.
Oh my god,
that was tremendous.
I was like laughing at it.
This, yes. Then we get Matt Hardy promo saying he wants to help Private Party, and then wanted to do the same thing with Sammy Guevara. And then Sammy didn't listen.
Grateful.
And then so he's saying Sammy climbed out of the ring to attack Hardy, which Sammy was doing again. So he's pretty much going to kick his ass, and they start fighting. And I like this segment. They put the table up, and he did this like crazy flip thing on the Hardy,
and Matt got busted the hell open.
I think everybody's saying that. I think that when Sammy threw the chair, it exaggerated, or not exaggerated. It really helped. I think he cut himself when he got tossed.
Yeah. He definitely
because he's laying on the table or whatever, and I saw before, and then he got the chair, and then like somehow he just.
Funny thing was, Matt, once it happened, his wife on Twitter, she was like fucking dumbass. gotta love freaking Rebby, man. Like she just says it, and God bless her. So it looks like that we are getting obviously Matt Hardy versus Sammy at All Out, which I think for Sammy this is going to be a good thing, because I think that this is going to bring a more more like vicious side to him that we probably haven't seen yet. So I think for just that alone, I have some interest in this, and on top of that, it just gives them something else to actually do. Since obviously currently with the inner circle, not exactly too much is going on right now.
Right. So I liked it. This was good. Then we got.
Is it time?
No, it's not time.
Oh.
For what? I don't know.
The debate.
No, it's not time yet. No.
Oh.
No, we got Santana and Ortiz beating up on Best Friend's van. And I
was just like, this is so corny. This is so corny.
And then so corny. And there, well, we'll get to it. I'm just reading through it. I'm just like, Then we get Cody Rhodes and Matt Cardona versus Alex Reynolds and John Silver, I guess, of the Dark Order.
Of the Dark Order, yeah.
I found it hilarious when they came down to the ring. They didn't have their mask on, and for whatever reason, they put the mask on during the match. Like, why didn't you come? Did I miss why? I don't know.
Apparently, according to what I found out, it's basically from Brody Lee, in order for them to actually work without the masks. Brody Lee has to give his okay, essentially. So that's why.
You don't care. Okay. Besides that, this was okay. This was fun. This was good. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it.
Like Matt Cardona looked really damn good here.
Sorry, he gets the pin. Yep. With the what used to be the Rough Rider, now it's Radio Silence
Mhm.
for the victory. Good thing to make Matt look good, and
Mhm.
Cody and Matt won, thank God.
Yeah.
I no doubt in that. So, I mean, overall, I thought this was good. No, I
Mhm.
don't remember anything that stood out.
Yeah, it wasn't anything too special here. This was just basically introducing like Matt and getting and essentially getting his feet wet, which yeah, it basically did what it basically did what they wanted, and now like I'm very interested to see what they actually do with him. Is it going to be any different? Because to me, he needs to be a completely different persona from what he was in WWE. He
I
needs
mean,
to be something just completely different, kind of.
so far he's not. He's not doing the woo woo woo.
No,
Uh,
yeah,
so we'll see what happens. It's been 2 weeks. And then as Cody goes to the back, we get stare down between him and Scorpio Sky, and we're having
it's my dude right there,
and
Scorpio
TNT championship match next week, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yay!
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Match that kind of really matters.
Yeah.
So
That's like I don't expect.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't expect Scorpio is going to actually win. However, I do think he's going to push Cody to his freaking limit, and this has been something that has been really bothering me. There have been a lot of people who are thinking somehow that Cody is parrying every single opponent that he's facing, which I can make the argument he's actually in a ton of cases is giving way too much every single week.
And he's giving it's not Baron. If it was Baron, he would be beating people like in 3 seconds.
Exactly.
No, but I agree. Think he's giving way too much, and I think other people said this, and I know, like, listen to Cornette, that I think he's giving people basically, no disrespect, no names for the mainstream, maybe besides the niche audience of like a War Horse or whatever, pushing them too far to the limit. And I kind of I agree that when somebody actually should push them to the limit, it would mean more. So if he didn't struggle with the lesser people, then like I would say like the Scorpio Sky match would be a great time to have Scorpio come as close to being Cody, because Scorpio is an established name, and it would give you a chance like, okay, Cody beat these lesser talent, these no name sounds like you know what I'm saying, no disrespect, and then you get Scorpio, oh my god, he might do this.
Well, and Matt, on top of that, he's one of the few bona fide black wrestlers that they have who you could that you can definitely see winning a like major title, like, which to me, I mean, like, and to I'm not saying this because he's because he's black. It's just he's that damn good. He's a really good wrestler. He's a really good talker, and he has a presence to him, which and two, he has already a set in a current fan base. So to me, there is a ton of benefits here. So yeah.
So then we have the best friends back at their van and pissed off. Trent says that he wants them to personally apologize to his mom and via speakerphone. Yeah, that was a second.
Yeah, like woohoo.
That this is the thing that is happening. It is this time. It is the time for the debate.
So Matt, what was your initial reaction here?
You know what? You're going to be surprised. Okay, first off, I agree 100% with everything Jericho said. But that being said, I didn't hate this. I didn't hate it. I was thoroughly entertained.
I'm sorry. I need to take a moment here.
To be fair, I still don't. The Orange Cassidy gimmick, still down on it, but I popped. Let me tell you, I did enjoy when Eric asked the global warming question, and I was just listening to wrestling.
I was thinking like you are going to really enjoy that.
Yes.
Out of anything
that's anti what Eric Bischoff believes, apparently. So that was a funny thing. But even though like Orange Cassidy, he had to be reading off of something because anybody remembers that. Just the classic. You know what this reminded me of was the trial of Eric Bischoff years ago, and when Maria was on there, like she was playing a dumb, and then all of a sudden she like just talks and starts being intelligent, and like Eric and Coach are just looking at each other like, wait, what?
Yeah.
That's what that reminded me of. That's the first thing I got. So I enjoy that. And it was ignoring all the wrestling questions. I enjoy that. I got a kick out of it, not gonna lie, being objective here. And I did like his promo at the end. By God, he can actually talk.
Mm-hmm.
It's so help me God. Next week, because it's built in wrestling logic after.
Matt, I hate to tell you, but I think our boy OC is definitely winning. Winning next week.
That's what I'm feeling. I got the vibe because Jericho and Hager beat him up with like pretty much. And it's 70,000, and you're gonna have 7,000. You're gonna have Orange Cassidy pay 7,000. So,
to me, the only logical way to go here, Matt, you need to have OC win here. Now, there's like you are going to be building to a second match, and two, I will say this: both of these guys somehow got me more interested in the second match, which I did not think was going to be possible. But by God, this Super Wednesday debate, it sold it for me. I think this has the potential to be definitely is going to make Orange Cassidy a really big star here. And something that was really also annoying me, Matt. There were people pissed that they brought on Eric Bischoff to be a freaking moderator. It's
Why?
not. I'm like, what's the freaking downside?
It's a one-off.
And two,
it's a to do anything.
And dude, it's the first time he's on TNT, for 20 years. I'm trying to like, what's the downside of this? Like, if anything, this helped Orange Cassidy. Like God forbid,
helped the segment.
Yeah, tremendously. It gave it so much more credibility.
Bischoff, all his role was to read stuff. Nothing he did played any yay or nay on anything. There.
No, he was literally just there just to be a face.
Yes,
it's about it. But man, I mean, how impressed were you by Orange Cassidy's with his talking skills?
He can cut a promo. I don't like the gimmick, but he can cut a promo. I was impressed. I can be objective here and say it. I would be okay with Orange Cassidy if he wins somehow by like a DQ. That no, I don't want him. I'd be DQ like somebody cost Jericho, and you go that and Jericho loses by, technicality because it was a disqualification. Something happens. I don't want Orange Cassidy to ban him.
He's going to give him the most devastating strikes in all of sports entertainment, Matt. And then he's going to pin him. He's going to pin him. No. And then Matt is going to lose his freaking mind, and it's going to bring me so much joy. It's going to be tremendous.
I'm glad my pain sustains you. So anyhow,
put that into my veins.
No. Yeah. Then I forgot. Wait, I'm gonna skip the thing here. Then we got ringside. We got Tony Schiavone and Britt Baker. They're asking. He asked her who she picked to face Big Swole, and if Swole wins, then she gets a shot at Baker, and she picks Reba, who was shocked, and goes in and had a match.
This sucked.
Had a match.
Like, this was WWE Divas bad. Like, oh god, this was rough.
It's like 2009 women.
This was and people that were also mad. Oh, why are the AEW women only getting 2 and 3 minutes? I'm like, well, if you trot out this, why in the hell would you want that going on any longer than it really needs to?
You know what I don't get? I wish they had, and I know they're having the tag team match thing on YouTube. Yeah. Why can't you have one on Dynamite? Just to have something like that.
Here's what I think. I think they're trying to actually build up more of their social media platforms, and that's probably partially why.
I feel like you can have that can be like, this match happened. Tune in on YouTube next week to see more. Blah 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 blah.
But at the same time, too, they are also featuring a ton of brand new women on top of it who really aren't.
I feel like
ready. Yeah.
Finagle. You can finagle to maybe at least one match as actual people on. I don't know. I don't know. But okay, and another gripe here before we get to the main event is they have the hell they do with Nyla Rose. I know she's teaming with what's her face, but they have her lose the first round.
But she didn't get pinned, so I'm not into Matt. Do you recall do you recall Taya Conti from NXT?
I know the name. I know the name. I don't really remember her.
Yeah, she was part of the team who actually beat Nyla who beat Nyla Rose and Ariane. So it just I kind of had the feeling when they paired her with Ariane that they were probably losing in the first round. And thank God this was just a freaking one-off for Cameron. We don't need to see her. We don't need to see her anymore. So that's good.
It's like they've done Nia Rose dirty. Anywho, main event time. We got Darby Allin versus Moxley for the AEW Championship. Besides, we knew Moxley was going to win. I thought this was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. They made.
Go ahead.
They made Darby look like really a guy who will basically sacrifice his whole entire body for anything. He's not going to be a Punk, and basically Moxley had to freaking kill him in order to finally pin him. So for that they booked that well, and I liked what they did with MJF because it makes a ton of freaking sense. Have freaking Darby win, so he will have in his mind a much easier route to finally winning that title. So
kind of like a shot of Darby in a way.
Yeah, so like
But it
right.
doesn't didn't
It
make
makes
sense though.
perfect sense. So I was like, okay, and now Matt, this sets the stage for MJF versus John Moxley at all out. I cannot wait to hear the freaking promos between these two for the next 3 or 4 weeks here. It's going to be sensational. The only thing that's going to really disappoint me is just if you guys haven't heard, unfortunately TNT is going to be pre emptying I think on the 19th and the 26th are going to be NBA dates. So basically Dynamite I think on the 22nd they're going to be on on that Saturday at 6 p.m., which it's going to be basically going head to head uh, against Takeover for a full hour, which kind of sucks. But I'm hoping that it's not going to hurt their viewership, but it probably will, just because it's going to make things definitely a little bit confusing for 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 people who don't really follow the company as closely as like we do.
Yeah. So that was both shows. Good week, solid week for both.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good week
Oh,
ratings, but
yeah. I mean, I still cannot believe that they did over 900,000 viewers, especially too, man. Especially to what the competition with the NBA and the NHL, Major League Baseball, all of that competition.
I don't understand. Every week I'm almost shocked. It makes no sense anyways.
And Matt, this kind of just proves to me, if the shows are good, people will freaking watch. And yeah, but man, what'd you think about the Raw Underground? By the way, I guess I should probably ask you about that.
Okay, I already know about your side. You didn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, like, and
I'm gonna give it a chance.
it's just like it just looks so fake.
I don't know.
And
It popped
yeah,
the rating.
it did. I'm just, but man, I'm just like, man, this just looks so phony. And I mean,
Well,
like,
I'm kind of glad it wasn't a legit shoot because that
well,
was
yeah,
screwed up.
well, yeah, we saw a freaking dark side of the ring, of the ring documentary on that. So yeah, we definitely don't need to see that. As it was just weird. Like they like had like three. They had like three random strippers on in some corner, and they were basically just having everyone around, and like Shane, he was just basically a freaking hype man the whole entire time. Yeah, I just what the
they have the quarterlies. I'm gonna find that, but I don't know if
I'm gonna say probably, man.
I don't know.
But I guess the other thing, Matt, that we will close on is Marty Jannetty. What was your first reaction when you heard this?
Just shake my head.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new a thing out that he did an interview with, and this is on Wrestling Inc. With Boston Wrestling YouTube channel today, and he's talking about this. So basically on a Facebook post, talk about, I guess he's breaking up with his girlfriend, whatever, and somehow he connected it with kind of murdering a a gay person when he was 13 that was allegedly selling him drugs, marijuana, and I guess the gay guy was coming on to him, and he says he he got rid of him or made him disappear.
Yeah, I'm like,
And stuff like this. So Marty goes into more depth here. Says that the man was a front desk clerk at the bowling alley. It says that the man apparently selling marijuana, but he tried to rape him. He says he's not aware that the man tried to get kids and sexually assault them. He says the man followed him where they were in this car, and when Janetti tried to get out of the car, the man got angry. He said they got out of the car into an alley where the man pulled his pants down, and Janetti said he was able to grab a brick and hit the man before he was sexually assaulted.
And wasn't this back in?
Is this when he's 13?
In the freaking 70s? Yeah, it was back in the 70s too, like, which is just so out of the blue. But like, well, Matt, I'm not sure if you recall when we were down in Dallas, I think we saw him at some cafe.
Saw him at that hotel.
Yeah, and like even then he was like really loud and just freaking obnoxious the entire time too.
Yeah, he was kind of sitting there, with the people around him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so the authorities down in Georgia, Columbus, Georgia Police Department said they're going to look into the claim, but they said it's not going to receive like high priority, like all hands on deck situation, and they're going to look in if the missing persons cases or
they probably have so many other things going on. Essentially, from what they said, was like, we will take a look at it at some point. But it's like,
so like stuff like people say it lines up. So like people did like research. Well, okay, he says here, Janetti noted in his original post that his brother Gino had returned from the Vietnam War. This damn ad's popping, moving the text when this situation happened. So Janetti said Janetti was born in 1960 in February, and he would have turned 13 in 1973. The Vietnam War ended in April 1975, but troops were returning at home at various times before then, so that matches up. The Chattahoochee River does run through Columbus, and there are records of that bowling alley in that town at the road which is right next to the river. So these facts line up with what he's saying, so the possible stuff. So that is
very plausible. Yeah, for sure.
So it's a very just a weird situation all around. With that, do they have the court? I'm still looking for raw quarterlies, but real quick, Justin Pass 111 here, talking about the debate, says I like the debate. Seeing Jericho's face when Orange Cassidy spoke was priceless. Yeah, I agree.
His freaking jaw just like in total shock of what the hell he was talking about with global warming and everything was hilarious.
Yeah, so
you freaking saw what I sent you there, huh?
Oh my god.
Well, I think that's probably a good place for us to stop there, don't you think, Matt?
Yep, we're about almost an hour, and so anywho, so this was our new night. I think we might stick with 7. We'll see around the same time each week going on. So we talk about AEW, NXT, and any other big news in the wrestling business. Excuse me. And that way, like we said, everybody has a chance to watch both shows. So, we can have, actual opinions on stuff, not like fly by the seat of our pants. But anyways, so that was that. Thanks for everybody to watch. Again, same spiel, like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for this week's podcast, episode 52, a year's worth of podcast this Saturday at 3 p.m. We'll probably have a good variety of topics to talk about.
The XFL.
The XFL is back, rise from the dead, like The Undertaker. Off the top of my head, you got Disney Plus charging $40 or whatever for Milan, and
there's also rumors that they might also be doing the same with Black Widow as possibly being next. So,
that whether or not we like a charge on top of the charge, we'll probably get into that, and then probably some form of sports, like always. So we have that to look forward to on Saturday, again 3 p.m. every Saturday on the channel. So with that, so for John, I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the podcast on Saturday and next Thursday for our AEW NXT reactions.